Number 10, Mikey's son, the Tokyo Revengers.
Who do you think you are?
Mikey is a crucial primary character, and man did he have us fooled when we first saw him. Being a middle schooler, Mikey's appearance isn't particularly menacing and he's considered one of the shorter and more calm looking characters in the series, so it was obvious that the audience and the characters within the anime itself were not buying him at first. But little did we know that the man named Sanao Manjiro was going to be one hell of a fighter. In his first appearance, he came in looking weak to other people, talking about his reputation as a top fighter to straight up destroying Kiyomasa, so much so that he probably ended up with some loose screws. We would then get to see more of Mikey's strength in his battle against Hanma, and when Tomen fought Valhalla, but the true extents of his strength are still hidden.
Number 9, Koichi Hirose.
Bastard! Mark my words. I'll make you pay for this!
Serving as a deuteragonist to Josuke Higashigata, Koichi Hirose is undeniably one of the strongest stand users the world of JoJo has ever seen. But would you believe that this timid-looking 90s punk rock wannabe could whoop ass? It's likely the mangaka designed him to make sure nobody would believe in his strength. I mean, look at him. His personality, he is that one friend that always chooses the healer class while playing an RPG. However, his appearance, his personality, everything is irrelevant when we are scaling his power levels, and boy is it high. Koichi's stand Echoes has 3 forms that basically take advantage of letters and sounds that Koichi writes and produces. Using all 3 forms, Koichi can use a variety of moves for defensive but mostly offensive approaches. His Act 3 is a thing of beauty as it allows him to freeze his enemies and lash out at them.
Problem, and you told me to go home, so I shouldn't get involved, you know? Besides, since I'm so shrimpy, I probably couldn't reach it.
Number 8, Homeru Tempest.
The very concept of having a slime as a protagonist in an isekai world was to glorify the trope of he looks weak but isn't. But somewhere around the corner, Tetsuda found a way to make that very trope into their storyline and make it excessively intriguing too. Rimuru Tempest's powers are simple, yet it has the potential to be the most complicated stuff isekai's ever seen. He's a slime that can absorb literally anything and receives all the powers of the things and beings he absorbs. This lets him keep his slime appearance on, which makes him look weak as hell, and he doesn't really show his strength all that often either. However, when he does get off on his opponents, it's complete devastation.
Number 7, Chami Peterson, the Black Culver.
When Charmy was first introduced as a magical knight of the Black Bulls, it looked as if she couldn't care less about her friends as long as she got to eat, despite none of that food helping in her growth. Because of her carefree and rather docile personality, we'd rarely see Charmy get into fights, and she wouldn't bother showing her powers except for some comical scenes. But when the elf arc kicked in and, when Rill, the captain of the Aquadeers, who I must say has one of the most overpowered magic in all of Black Clover, turns into an elf, things get dire for our heroes. During the time Charmy confronts Rill, gets ransacked, but the moment Rill talks trash about food, Charmy turns up, gains some height, summons a badass wolf, and good lord did she bash Rill hard. Later, it's revealed that Charmy is a half-dwarf and rocks some immense hidden magic powers, good enough to be one of the toughest magical knights around.
What are you gonna do about it?
Number 6, Yuko Okumura.
Being the fraternal younger brother to someone who's literally the son of Satan, Yukio has some of the most unique abilities and most refined exorcism skills in the entire series. Unlike his brother Rin, Yukio is a level-headed, kind-hearted, and calm person who rarely ever loses his cool. Despite being one of the younger characters in the show, Yukio has accomplished much more than a lot of experienced exorcists thanks to his early developments, one of which allowed him to see demons at a very young age. Because of this, Yukio was trained in the art of exorcism by one of the strongest exorcists in the show, Shiro Fushimoto. While his normal exorcist powers are great, having a demonic heritage allows Yukio to transform into a demonic form, giving him the notorious blue flames, making him immensely powerful, as if he wasn't already.
Number 5. Kana Kamui.
You've seen her on the internet, you've seen her at least once this week, she's such a pop culture sensation. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid is one of the most uniquely crafted stories in all of anime, and this little lolly dragon takes the center stage most of the time. While Kana Kamui is not the protagonist of the show, fans would not be angry if they decided to change that and rename the show to Kana. She's that adorable and interesting. Kana's appearance is that of a child and her personality, a puppy golden retriever. Despite her cute appearances and childish personality, Kana is still a dragon, much older than her human colleagues, who has probably trained for years and developed some crazy mind-boggling powers and abilities. Being a dragon, Kana has superhuman strength, agility, reflexes, and a ton of stamina, well beyond a normal human. Combine that with her magical powers and the ability to manipulate electricity, she's easily one of the strongest dragons out there, cute as she is.
Number 4. Eyes in the Blaze.
Ah, you saw it coming. You saw it coming, didn't you? My fellow Bleach fans and I know this is easily a top 1 contender given what a titanic plot twist it was to know that Aizen was behind all the devious schemes in the Soul Society, but I think it's fair to treat some modern entries on higher spots. There's nothing to say about Aizen that isn't already known. The Soul Reaper with a salaryman appearance who turned out to be everyone's boss. Aizen, for almost the entirety of Bleach, acted like he was a total wimp with average powers, and he even had the viewers fooled because we knew so little about him and the show never cared to explain. But the fact that this guy, this fake smile artist, was the one pulling all the strings from the beginning of the show hit us so damn hard that Ichigo had to pull a Super Saiyan 3 just to put an end to him. While his Zanbakuto and almost infinite spiritual energy are scary enough, Aizen's true power lies in his genius level intellect and his ability to manipulate everything to his advantage, making him one of the most fearsome antagonists in all of anime.
Number 3. Slim Badly Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
To those who watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and got to the end of it, you and I both know that despite all our theories and predictions, we would have never guessed that Salem Bradley was a homunculus like this reveal just came out of nowhere and blew us out of the water. Homunculi are basically the primary villains of Full Metal Brotherhood. They're humanoid creatures who are nigh immortal and have some disturbingly cool abilities, and these guys are super creepy too. When King Bradley was revealed to be the Sin of Wrath, we all wondered what the Sin of Pride would be like, and who it was. What's really amazing about this reveal is that it happened so casually, and the build-up to it is an absolute masterpiece. Up until the reveal, the show had done a good job of portraying Salem as an innocent adopted child of King Bradley, and didn't give us a single chance of doubt. But when Lisa Hawkeye senses something sinister in one particular scene with Salem, the creepy kid immediately reveals himself as the Sin of Pride, manipulator of shadows, and the most powerful homunculus out there, and he probably caused Lisa some PTSD.
Number 2. Park Re-Zero.
Puck has a lot of history, going back 400 years when he was still a humanoid creature who was then turned into an artificial spirit by Echidna in order to protect Amelia. But over the years, Puck's objective and allegiances have been in constant turmoil, but he isn't necessarily bad. Being the great spirit presiding over fire mana, Puck has immense magical prowess and easily one of the strongest magic users in the show. But this doesn't mean that Puck is limited to a single element. He can use almost all elemental magic, has healing abilities, and can even read minds. Talk about overpowered.
Number 1. 2B Naruto Shippuden.
Oh, Obito, how you deserve all the happiness in the world. Only if you grew a brain faster and not after Naruto talked it into your head. Toby was introduced in the sequel series Naruto Shippuden alongside Deidara as a goofy Akatsuki member who mostly specialized in running away and avoiding fights. But as soon as Itachi died, the show revealed that Tobi is actually an Uchiha with a fully developed Sharingan, and his personality changed along with his voice, and he suddenly turned into a much darker and menacing character. We later got to know that Tobi is actually Obito Uchiha, who is presumed dead in the Third Great Ninja War. When Obito decided to embrace the dark side, he hid his identity and pretended to be a goofball until Itachi, the biggest thorn in his path, was eliminated. Even after this, he came out as Madara Uchiha, not Obito, but he was no longer holding back his powers. We got to see that Tobi has some of the most broken powers in all of Naruto, and was capable of going toe-to-toe with some of the strongest characters in the series.
Obito.